We've all faced situations where leaving seems like our only choice for self-preservation. Toxic jobs, abusive friendships, codependent relationships, continually staying and fighting the pain rarely changes anything. It only causes more damage to our sense of self. Yet walking away often feels weak, like we're giving up on all we've already invested. We perceive leaving as quitting rather than an act of courage or highest commitment to personal growth. But what if consciously withdrawing from anything causing us harm was actually the ultimate display of personal power? The ancient Stoic philosophers reveal how mastering the art of detachment makes us invincible to external efforts to control us. By refusing to cling to dysfunction, we reclaim authority over our attention, energy, and very destiny. Through the simple yet defiant act of stepping back, we signal more clearly than any words could that we know our worth and will no longer compromise it. We draw a line that demands respect going forward. Should any reconnection occur in this video, we will explore how walking away reactively cultivates emotional and mental clarity while inspiring change in others. We'll see why it is the surest path to self-mastery and greatest guardian of our inner light. Thank you all for watching, and welcome to our journey through Stoicism. Number 1. It gives you back inner peace. Few conditions torment mind and body more insidiously than remaining hostage in environments that breed stagnation or distress while sapping life force energy, be they toxic relationships, unfulfilling jobs, or constrictive ideologies. Yet we often cling to known pains out of conditioned habit, fear of loss, or myths that relief awaits just around the corner. If only we persist in such quicksand struggle, only anguishes further, as each effort to pull free expends precious energy and sinks hope deeper. Till when will you wrestle against tides that erode vitality? Before heeding nature's call to redirect course, the liberating insight reveals. Freedom emerges first, not in changing externals, but mastering willingness to walk away. Consider instead the model of the majestic sea turtle, who has persisted across eras by prioritizing survival over stubbornness. When storms batter beyond endurance or predators attack, she simply withdraws from danger waters to recover strength on some distant shore before braving the oceans again, like the sage turtle. Preserve clarity that no temporary status quo nor relationship merits, compromising well-being or integrity. When anything or anyone external hijacks inner equilibrium, too long reclaim birthright to retreat and recover for passions, fail to control, or coerce a conscious spirit mastered in the art of detachment. No matter their ferocity, awaken then to life's renewable invitation if former commitments erode. Soul more than nourish, make the break by degrees. Healing ensues once extracted fully from parasitic roots. Then, guided by inner light's compass, set course again on the open ocean. New horizons await. Discovery where thriving over mere surviving is the soul's next adventure. Number 3 creates physical and emotional space to gain clarity. When circumstances confront that confuse the mind and consume vitality, the Stoic sages advise first creating distance between event and reaction, for only by establishing emotional space can turmoil settle enough to gain objectivity over subjective experience. In stillness, clarity emerges on wise next steps. Imagine yourself bound so close to a towering redwood that its bark blinds your gaze upwards at broader perspective, but walk several paces removed, and suddenly the immense tree reveals itself in full frame, its verdant canopy giving shade, sturdy roots stabilizing soil, proud beauty transcending time. Similarly, situations and relationships that disorder thoughts lose distorting power over inner peace once you relinquish need to cling tightly. Retreat first restores mental latitude to evaluate with logic's eye before emotion's blindness perpetuates rash decisions leading nowhere. Positive, consider what focal points may require a few paces back right now to allow bigger picture comprehension. Walk onward, guided solely by truth until the coming path unveils itself brightly. What toxic assumptions, beliefs, or commitments still anchor perception against seeing highest good for all? Compassion and courage codify in the arising space to realign actions accordingly, as Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote in Solitude, while leading the fading Roman Empire. Step back from the canvas of mind, expand frame of reference. Differentiate signal from surrounding noise of distress in calm evaluation storms. Soon fade as wisdom prevails. You were born to transcend illusion. Number 4. Motivates change in others. Others consider scenarios where one's reasonable needs go chronically unmet due to the other prioritizing selfish behaviors. Criticism that cuts rather than encourages, laziness that drains rather than contributes. Disrespect that manipulates rather than cooperates. Rarely will ongoing tolerance shift such inertia. Only walking away penetrates the fog to stir evaluation and effort. Initially, response may amplify hostility at losing assumed control or sidestepping responsibility, yet maintain conviction and departing wholesomely. Faith stands firm that aligned partners taking conscious ownership for improving relating is the only worthy foundation for reconciliation. If no latent care emerges through departure, temporary vacuum bonds likely lacked substance from the start, a pivotal insight before investing further. But if genuine mutual investment exists, separation soon awakens reflection on adjusting patterns, for sustainable harmony necessity becomes mother of invention. In rediscovering empathy and accountability in time, the challenge of rebuilding trust underscores valuing each other abundantly rather than minimally. Crisis buyers opportunity for maturation should departure rouse no revelation. Bless all paths encountered as teachers while walking on, though the door closes and sadness take comfort that setting standard screens integrity through self-respect for in mastering when to walk away with poise. Personal power crystallizes as North Star guiding you home through all seasons. Hence number 5. It opens up room for something better to enter your life when time and faith invest heavily to grow relationships and ventures to no avail. The prospect of walking away leaves us hollow, with lingering hopes of resuscitating past potential, yet according to the Stoic sages, departure signifies not failure, but the fertile soil for new growth. For in life's cyclical nature, letting go creates needed space for better aligned connections to take rot. Consider the public's outrage when legend Michael Jordan retired abruptly from basketball in his prime, pursuing baseball's unlikely path as critics questioned abandoning excellence refined for experimenting with mediocrity. Jordan stepped back from exhausting spotlight to renew passion's fire 1 year later. Returning doubly motivated, he catalyzed the Bulls' historic championship run. Like Jordan, have the courage to retreat when vision wanes for relationships and activities once cherished. Part consciously on positive terms, without residual resentment. Then step into reflective space, midwifing clarity on your truest values and needs, and time emerging in it bears fruit by attracting people and opportunities aligned to thriving rather than just surviving. Trust transformation often blooms through walking away while letting go. Initially empties hands, it fills slowly with wisdom and self-possession to manifest greater intimacy, purpose, and joy. Maintain faith that each closure prepares foundations for something. Yet number 6 requires courage and shows self-respect. Few acts demonstrate at greater courage and self-respect than walking away, non-reactivity from draining situations, in calm assertion of one's worth, for resignation accepts the crucible of misery as somehow deserved rather than summoning power to reject abuse or neglect outright, to silently withstand corrosion of soul. Soon normalizes diminishing treatment as identity erodes further. Yet we often hesitate to depart. Dysfunction. Hostage to voices that induce guilt for disloyalty or stability. Societal scripts command loyalty at all costs without questioning whether higher causes exist. But the Stoics clarify that submitting to any circumstance stealing inner peace makes you complicit, signaling you merit. No better is this condition true or a limiting belief. Awaken now to life's renewable invitation. Reflect deeply on relationships and roles, subtracting life force more than adding. Do fear or comfort. Prevent imagining greater realities aligned to your thriving. Self-limitations cannot be outgrown until confronted, but walk purposefully toward freedom through tender care for your overall well-being. Above all, this act of courage ripens self-trust to cut away recurring dynamics undermining souls, harvest, exiting dysfunction, honors, bedrock understanding. Through unwavering commitment to self-care, you deserve blossoming gardens rather than a in-ground. Then, having walked away and reset standards for nourishing ties, turn attention to cultivating stillness and vision, primed for Providence's blessings, soon to emerge on the horizon. Number 7 eliminates the tendency to cling to harmful situations, whether relationships turned toxic slowly over time or never aligned with growth from the start. Walking away liberates truth from false narratives. That longevity alone signifies meaningful connection, for when dysfunction or misalignment persists, each moment, lingering slowly, normalizes minimizing one's needs, while damaging self-concept further through, enabling an abusive cycle that tools time to unravel. Yet, when resigned to mistreatment subtly packaged as love through childhood conditioning or cultural norms, courage seldom arises to walk away. However rational this choice appears, sunk cost fallacy whispers, "But you've already invested so much here, don't throw it away." Or fears project starting over means I wasted years, renders me a failure with no options left. Awaken now to life's renewable chance for course correction. No matter time already surrendered in vain hopes of change. Let clarity motivate action for staying trades, resigned known suffering for possibilities, unknown fruits waiting over the horizon. This pivoting leap of faith requires first separating self-concept from dysfunction's familiarity. Then through constantly reinforcing your worthiness going forward, certainty takes root in deserving relationships that reciprocate loving care, rather than continually exploit nature's cycles. Reveal when seasons culminate. Decay and Dorsey nourish next year's vibrant harvest. Now marks your fated moment too for sloughing antiquated models behind through bold, non-reactive departure, then cleans mental slate fully of beliefs, hopes, and habits bonded to outown. Roots. Number 8 frees up valuable time and energy of life's most precious commodities. Little outweighs the value of time and energy available. Each dawn to author one's opus, yet we often squander mental bandwidth emotionally entangled in unfulfilling jobs, communities, or relationships that deplete reserves without cultivating growth. Only through courageously walking away may attention redirect more constructively. Consider where you overinvest finite resources despite negligible returns. Workplace politics demanding damage control for minimal pay, increase friendships that drain empathetically without reciprocity, or enabling a partner's stagnation and poor life choices. While your own dreams gather dust, awaken now to abundant possibility, waiting patiently for your engagement elsewhere. No matter prior sacrifice, nothing changes until bravely rechanneling effort from stagnant quicksand into fertile terrain, whose yields energize your calling, but first compassionately withdraw attention, given those black holes that only collapse, inner light, into darkness. Then survey life's landscape with newly opened eyes for overlooked outlets deserving time and energy to flourish. What relationships inspire best self? Where may skills contribute to social progress? What activities breathe purpose day to day? Dedicate yourself first. Not where deficiencies screams loudest, but where wisdom and virtues, essential nature, resonate. As guideposts home, commit fully to a wise path going forward, with consistent action, aligned to self-mastery, each detail, integrous mosaic holiness. Soon small steps compound as broader revolution marching to the soul's anthem. Number 9 allows feelings of anger, hurt, or disappointment to start healing when mistreatment or unmet expectations build resentment over time. Walking away non-reactively allows healing space for bruised emotions to recover, separate from their sources for remaining present. Perpetuates fight or flight reactions as conflict engages survival, instinct rather than wisdom, only in physical and mental separation. May turbulent feelings settle enough for rational processing? Consider the example of American colonists so outraged by British governance that reasoned discourse gave way to reactive fervor, obstructing clear solutions yet exiting an untenable situation. Through the Continental Congress, buying time and space for thoughtful planning proved pivotal in birthing a balanced democracy. So too when people or situations deliver continual injustice, outrage threatens equilibrium more than resolving matters. Retreat first to tranquil space for turbulent feelings to cool into objectivity. Distance soothes hot reactions into steadier contemplation of accountability for all players possible. Reconciliation, or the closure's clean finality and time apart, reflection often surfaces latent, innate love below. Grievances revealing higher truth. But when departure brings relief, instead acceptance arrives that forcing connectivity with those eroding soul subtracts from life's wholeness. Now you walk on as lingering anger and disappointment fade further behind each step, while self-worth and wisdom grow brighter, guiding passage beyond past hurt. Number 10, walking away is direct, straightforward communication rather than direct communication, sealing breakdowns in relating through compassionate accountability. Unresolved conflict often festers silently over years until erupting in inflammatory accusations that destroy bonds utterly yet courageously. Walking away sends crystal clarity to offending parties that current behaviors demand adjustment. While avoiding drama's contamination, consider common family dynamics that discourage frank dialogue about dysfunction, allowing toxicity to subtly progress. Elders admonish erring. Dirty laundry promotes only shame, but absent clear requests or boundaries against disrespect, dysfunction metastasizes beneath the surface only later, when calamity reveals hidden decay. Do we comprehend the price of conflict avoidance? A whack. And now to life's renewable chance, no matter. Years acing silently exercise power, waiting patiently for your voice, kindly request, change with accountability, while offering support if met with defensiveness or avoidance. Depart cleanly, detaching false expectations that tie you to poor treatment or stolid improvement in peaceful walking away. Motivated parties soon grasp the gravity of your exit, communicating what requires realignment for compatibility to continue. Consider too how employees resigning alerts companies to address systemic issues. Your absence bears similar resonant weight when demanding overdue justice. Number 11. It leaves the door open should changes occur when we walk away. We're not just physically removing ourselves from something harmful. We're signaling that we know our inherent worth and will no longer compromise it or make excuses for mistreatment. This sends a powerful message that we value ourselves enough to advocate for better. Walking away also often provokes change or self-reflection within the other party down the line when we're no longer enabling dysfunctional patterns. By staying put, the other person is forced to reckon with the consequences of their actions. They now have to fill the void we left behind and face the effects of losing us. This can prompt growth, apology, attempts at reconciliation from a healthier emotional place, and if changes do unfold from the other party, walking away leaves the door open for reconnection down the line, but only if we desire that when we walk away we retain our autonomy and the ability to decide if reconciling is truly in our highest good. We're putting ourselves first and requiring improved behavior that honors our worth, so embrace the power of walking away. Know that through valuing yourself enough, if you see poor treatment today, you're claiming authority over your life while still allowing for redemption or positive change from others. Walking away puts you solidly in the driver's seat, and that itself is your greatest power. Number 12. Inspire self-reflection in the person leaving. As we walk away, we begin to examine our own role in the situation more clearly. We consider ways we may have contributed to dysfunctional dynamics or enabled negative treatment of ourselves. The space created by leaving prompts us to step back and gain much-needed perspective, rather than seeing ourselves merely as victims or putting all blame external factors. Walking away gives us clarity that conflict almost always involves multiple parties holding responsibility. This insight that both ourselves and others likely held flaws humbles us. It paves the way for growth. Furthermore, the simple discipline of physically leaving tension or disagreement short-circuits our OSAs, tendencies to feel defensive, superior, or self-righteous. Distancing ourselves from messy conflict removes the primal urge to insist we're right while another is wrong. Instead, walking away plunges us into more nuanced reflection about the grays in any conflict. We connect more deeply with principles of mutual understanding, imperfection, interdependence. So in the very act of honoring our needs by withdrawing from harmful contention, we create space for humility, self-inquiry, and taking personal responsibility, rather than dividing the world into villains and victims. Walking away turns the mirror inward for internal housekeeping and owning our part. Therein lies incredible power. The power to evolve past blaming others into our highest selves. Number 13. It models setting boundaries for others in your life. For instance, when our close friends watch us, decline to engage with someone who repeatedly crosses lines. It plants seeds in their minds. They see firsthand how to honor one's worth by limiting access from those who don't value it the next time they find themselves being taken for granted. Images of us choosing to walk away may surface in their consciousness. They may realize they have permission to do what's best for them. Too similarly, when our children observe us cutting ties with those who harm us, it provides a guide for who deserves access to them as they grow. Kids innately look to trusted adults to discern appropriate boundaries. So, when we show that we only surround ourselves with those demonstrating mutual care, it signals who they too should allow into their circles. Our kids absorb powerful lessons about self-respect by watching us walk away from mistreatment, while welcoming and only those who nurture our growth. We model for them that none of us should passively accept behaviors below our dignity. And so in leaving behind that which no longer serves us, the ripple effect on those we love can be profound. By leading through example of knowing our worth, we suddenly grant others in our lives permission to walk away from their own boundaries being crossed. Our personal power thus ignites and multiplies power for entire communities. Number 14. It is an act of self-kindness and protection of self-worth. When we're embroiled in relationships or dynamics that denigrate our sense of worth, it's all too easy. Sink into people-pleasing doubt and playing small to keep the peace. Walking away ends this. It's a defiant declaration that our innate right to be at peace will no longer be compromised. No matter the history, hopes, or sunken costs invested in the situation, despite the short-term discomfort we may feel from losses of walking away on a deeper level, the choice nurtures our spirit. It communicates that our commitment to self overrides all else. It shields our light from further dimming and reclaims energy we've given away. Trying to change or accommodate others. Walking away is thus the highest form of self-protection. We're literally ensuring our emotional, psychological, and even physical safety by refusing to remain hostage. We're placing the scared, wounded inner child that dwells within on the throne of our priorities. From this vantage of self-love, we gain clearer boundaries, elevated discernment, and greater immunity from draining ties that rob our joy. So next time you must walk away from trouble, remember that above all else, you're stewarding the most precious gift of all, your sense of self. You're conveying to your innermost being that no matter what, you will always have its back first. In making your wellness the priority, you plant seeds for increased self-trust, nourishing and long-term thriving. For in fiercely guarding your light, you guarantee it will burn brighter. Number 15. Walking away becomes easier and more automatic with practice in the beginning. Extricating ourselves from dysfunctional systems requires tremendous intentionality, courage, and willpower. Our default is often to cling to familiarity for comfort or stay stuck in fix-it mode, trying to change others. Walking away feels alien. Our minds protest that long-term investment merits preserving things, or that there must be some way to make it work. Yet once we cross the threshold of choosing to walk away, the first few times we start dismantling our biological addiction to harmful connections. We burst the illusion that leaving signals defeat or failure. Slowly but surely, the nerve pathways in our brains rewire to associate removing ourselves as linked to concepts like self-mastery, strength, and acting in our best interest. Gradually, as walking away gets coded into our neural circuitry as positive self-care rather than quitting it, turns more reflexive, our resilience evolves so that we disentangle faster. The moment a relationship no longer nourishes our spirit, we operate from depleting prevention rather than damage control. The rotati toward self-preservation heightens in effect through repeatedly flexing our walking away muscle. Over time, self-protection becomes less effortful and more instinct to all we nurture. A steadfast trust in our ability to walk away, no matter the scenario. This newfound faith in always having our own backs forever alters our trajectories, boundaries, and destinies for the better. For, in the end, a life lived fully emerges by knowing when to stay and when to go. If you are listening to this, thank Stoic Reflection you for staying till the end. If you feel any of these Stoic lessons resonated with you today, feel free to start a Stoic discussion in the comments. I welcome Stoic discussions, as they are what the great Stoics like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca advised for, as we stated before. If you're interested in Stoicism and self-improvement through the great Stoics like Marcus Aurelius, then our Sto newsletter, which you can join in the description, is perfect for you. If you enjoyed the video, Don't forget to like. And if you want more content like this, subscribe and hit the bell. Thank you for watching, and as always, I hope you find peace and serenity in the Stoic